and share a few tips with you that have really helped me over the last probably few years, that when I started getting educated about nutrition, and specifically about one of the things I'm going to be speaking about is sugar. So, have you guys been suffering from things like an afternoon slump? Maybe you've got bloating, which can be really painful and you look like you're pregnant. You might be getting a bit chubby around the middle of your stomach. You might be suffering things like brain fog. Well, this could be related to how much sugar you're consuming, and sugar that you're consuming without even realizing. So, just to give you guys an idea, let me know where you're tuning in from, by the way. I can't see who's hopping on my computer, so hopefully we've got some viewers happening. Hi to everyone. Have a beautiful, hope you're having a beautiful night. So just to give you an idea, 3 pieces of, say, fruit, a handful of dried fruit, which isn't great, teaspoon of honey can add up to about 30 grams of sugar, which is equivalent to about 7.5 teaspoons of sugar. Now, literally, we are supposed to, as adults, be consuming no more, on average, this is about 7.5 teaspoons of sugar per day in our diet. So that's for adults. For, say, 7 to 10-year-olds, they shouldn't be consuming more than 6 teaspoons, and younger than that, 4.5 teaspoons. So the thing that we've got to be on the lookout for, the hidden sugars. So, you know, we know that sugar's bad for us. It's not great. And things that we consume like biscuits and cakes and, you know, stuff like cereals, breads, things like that, we know contain sugar, chocolate, lollies, etc. Now, the problem is that there's so many hidden sugars that we're not even aware of. So there's things like, beware, buyer beware, low-fat products we think may be healthy are actually laden with extra sugars. So you're actually better off going for full-fat versions. Things like sauces. So you can, like just a small amount, like 10 mils of barbecue sauce actually contains 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. So just something like putting sauce on, it might be on, you know, your sausages or your meat of a night time. Just think of that extra sugar content that you're adding to your daily limit. As an adult, remember 7.5 teaspoons. Things like your jars, you know how you buy, like some people buy the pasta sauces. Basically, processed foods contain so many hidden sugars, and they need to hit the sweet spot. They want the marketing experts and the manufacturers, they want the foods to hit the sweet spot, and they want people to buy it over and over, and people to obviously like it. It's got to taste good. Hey, so there's a lot of hidden sugars. So I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Years and years ago, when my kids were going to daycare and to school, I was totally uneducated back then about all of this, and I used to give my kids the Pop Tops. They're just like a little fruit juice, and that would go in their lunchbox. And I actually thought that was healthy because it was a fruit juice, when in actual fact, one Pop Top alone has 6 teaspoons of sugar. Can you believe that? So here I was trying to be, you know, a decent mum and feeding my kids what I thought were healthy foods and healthy options were actually really bad for them. And I used to wonder, I used to think, why on earth, especially my son Thomas, he used to go crazy when he used to have a Pop Top. And it wasn't until I got educated that I realised it was the sugar, the additional sugar that was setting him off the rails. So let me know if you have experienced something like that. You might have experienced that with your kids. Maybe you have a reaction. Maybe you get really hyped up and crazy from having, you know, the extra sugar. It's really not great for us. And I have to admit that I'm a sugar addict, and I've got to be really careful because I love my lollies and I love my chocolate. And I do try and choose healthy options, but Yeah, I've got an inner fat kid, okay, and he or she just wants to like jump out, and yeah, it's there. So let me know if you can relate. I think, you know, it's just important to be aware of these things. So how do we know how much sugar is in a product? Now, this is a tip that I learned and that I utilize all the time. So basically, you need to be educated and read the label. And it's surprising when you read the label, you actually will be blown away when you realize how much sugar is in foods that you thought were healthy. They might say natural, they might say organic. And yeah, you're really, yeah, it's quite an eye opener. So what you need to do is when you look at a label, you'll see that there's sugars listed. Now, always look at the per serving, because the first section should say per serving, and then there should be another area which will have, might have mils or something like that. So go per serving, right? So with the barbecue sauce, it's literally 10 mils, which is not, it's like I guess 10 mils is probably about 2 teaspoons, 5 mils a teaspoon. So 2 teaspoons is 10 mils. But go off the per serving. Now, if it says sugars per serving is, say, 16, what you need to do with that amount every single time is divide it by 4. And that's going to tell you how many teaspoons are found in that, that product. And that's going to give you an idea. Now, just remember, adults are supposed to be consuming 7.5 teaspoons per day on average. We're actually consuming over a kilo of sugar a week. We know the effects of that. You know, there's things I could go on and on about, you know, inflammation in the body, sugar disease thrives in that type of environment, throws our body's homeostasis off, all these sorts of things, rots our teeth. I could go on and on. But I think the main thing is just to be aware. And yeah, let me know if you have, you know, if that's something that you utilize and you do read the labels. I'd love to know. But yeah, so I'll just recap that main little tip, which I found so helpful, is to read the label, take the amount of sugars that are located in the serving, and then divide it by 4. And that's going to give you a per teaspoon. That's going to tell you how many teaspoons. So if it's 16, you've literally got 4 teaspoons of sugar in that product, in that serving. And the serving could be 1 piece of bread, or could be, I don't know, 1 muffin. It could be, you know, it could be the smallest serving. So it will really blow your mind, and keep a track of it. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this live, and I hope you're all amazing, and I really appreciate your support, and I shall speak to you guys soon. Bye.